supposed to start with the clap. That way you know the sound.
Yeah, I know.
It's like you've never done post before. Which, seeing our videos, kind of makes sense. Yay!
Hello, welcome to another episode of Meeple Empire. I'm JR, this is Palmer,
Hi.
and we are again greeted with Mr. Simmons of the Brian. So...
Really?
Crazy week. Yeah, you know, I had to JR it, you know?
Yeah. This week we have a nice empty table, so we're not hiding any mics. The mic's actually up there.
No love.
Every time.
It's like a Where's Waldo situation every week.
All right. So, as we all know, there were big things that happened over the last week to 10 days that we all, I know, can't wait to talk about. The people out there can't wait to hear about. And I think we all know what it is. Taylor Swift has a new song.
I totally just got blindsided. What the
This coming from the man who will be spending his evening watching Lady fucking Gaga.
I don't believe her middle name is fucking. Otherwise, that's a completely
know.
different show that I wasn't aware I was going to.
I might pay to see that one.
I'm probably with him on this one. I'm just saying.
So really? No love for T-Swizzle?
I don't know. The fact that we have people crawling around the house, like, that's probably...
Thank you.
The next time she goes that way, I want to see her in, like, army fatigues just going...
So, to get us back on track...
We're never on track.
Let's talk TV and cinema.
Unless it's
Lots
that
of,
track.
yeah, I was gonna say, he's got lots of tracks this
Oh,
freaking week.
fuck off. Now you too? TV and cinema. Let's start with what you saw for your Thursday fare.
Birth of the Dragon.
And how much of an abortion was that?
Like, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting, but there are things I just don't care about in this world, and karate is on the top of that list.
Oh,
That is
Okay.
painful.
yeah.
The last good karate movie was Best of the Best.
I actually really enjoyed that.
Good movie, but I wouldn't say that was the last good one.
Well, I mean, it was the last good one about karate. I mean, the action sequences were good. The acting was terrible. It does have the
It's standard for
yeah.
a good martial art movie.
Okay, this is a typical Palmer doesn't like it, so he's going to go on and on
No,
about how he
I'm
rather
not
die in
actually,
a
but
fire
it does
than go
have
see it again.
it does have the goofy guy from Rescue Me. The blonde hair goofy one. I don't remember his name. Rescue Me's been off this air for like 10 years.
Yeah, the firefighter with Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
Dennis Leary.
That was
Dennis
such a great
fucking
show.
Leary. Okay, so
But it was
we're
bad.
gonna get something that I was actually looking forward to talking to.
Oh God.
Death Note.
Okay.
Did we all get an opportunity to watch it and freshen
Yes.
up on it?
Yes,
Yes.
I finished it at 2 a.m. this morning.
Oh, jeez.
I have a life. It's weird.
Wow.
What I want to know is who is this and when did he get a life? The
So,
fuck?
so what did you guys think of Death Note? I know you had already seen it before.
I liked it. I already said I liked it. They again, if you go by the anime, and you're gonna be one of those, oh well, they changed this and they changed this and they changed this. Well, no fucking shit, they changed this. Do you realize this is the 5 live version incarnation of Death Note? They've already done 5 live versions. 3 of them were movies, 2 of them were a series, and 1 of them was a 2-part thing.
Really?
Yep.
I want to see the rest of those now.
The one that they sold in Walmart was actually like,
Was it?
yeah. This one, the guy was like, okay, well, hey, now Netflix wants to do one.
Yeah.
Again, 5th incarnation of it. So they're like, oh, well, let's Americanize it and do da-da-da-da. It wasn't whitewashing. It was, we're bored as shit, and we want to do something different.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And they set it up perfectly for a second movie by making the couple changes that they made.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I just adding my 2 cents in, not for nothing. Again, when we branched for a few seconds last time, you're going to win me over anytime you add Dutch angle to anything. And to start out the film almost immediately, throwing some Dutch, and they use it pretty consistently throughout as a storytelling tool. And to me, it was used the way it's supposed to be used. You know, they set up a shot perfectly framed. They switch it to Dutch. It goes back to perfect. Like, it gives you that, you know, I should be uncomfortable by what I'm viewing.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. You know, not for nothing, you know, just the laugh, the interactions, you fool, you know, you curious humans, like all of those different aesthetics, like so good. Acting, I guess it's what you'd expect. I mean, it's still a teen film at heart.
Yes, I wouldn't call it whitewashing on this one. I would call it teen washing.
Yeah, I can, you know.
It's an anime, so everyone in the anime has got to be like 12 or 13.
But the whole thing is Light, not Light Turner, Light, whatever the hell his name was like genius level, cold, calculating. Like,
Okay.
for all intents and purposes, you almost forgot that he was a student, except like when halfway through the series they actually showed him going back to school. In this one, he starts off by screaming like a little bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a totally different character.
No, definitely. I like the way they do introduce him. That is kind of funny, where he does squeal like a little girl. Like, you know, and not for nothing, not to cut you off, but not for nothing, you know, just the extremes that kind of existed in it, especially, and again, I'm very intrigued by any type of cinematography that adds like a real aesthetic, something we can relate to in life. But, you know, the fact that they go out of the way and L gets out there and he's got his face covered, but he's ruthless and he's brutal. And then when his father gets out there and just like throws himself right out there, you know, I can relate to that as a father, you know, and just the commitment to his work, you know, the no fear, taking that all in. Like, I really like that. For as much as it was a teen film at heart, I think that they still maintained enough integrity for Death Note to be, you know, to at least hold its own in the Death Note universe.
Exactly.
And be something that someone could actually enjoy.
Like I said, you have to take it on its own merit.
I think I would disagree that it's a teen film at heart. It's a movie that has quote unquote teens as a character. I mean, if you look it up, like the girl's 23 years old. She's not even close to being a teen.
Yeah, I was gonna say Misa was then a high school cheerleader.
Who is, by the way,
Mia.
Yeah, who, by the way, is probably my favorite character in anything I've seen this year.
You know why?
Like how?
Because she's an asshole.
Yeah, she's
You know why?
She's an asshole.
Because he's an asshole.
Her character is so good. Like, I would watch an entire spin-off movie. Like, if she had gotten the Death Note at the end and kept it, I would want the sequel with her. That being said, the aesthetic of this movie is just, I loved it. Like, all the look, the costuming, the set pieces were all done very well. Some strange music choices. Although I really liked during like the last third or last fourth of the film where you had like the invasion of 80s power ballads.
Yep, that was awesome.
Take My Breath Away because his heart was supposed to stop. Get it?
No,
Heart.
like I said, and that's what a way to end a film like this.
Well, all right, so
and it's cool, and like I said, it sets it up for the second one when the real story between Light and L, if they make another one, will really shine, because you don't see any of L's real intelligence and ruthlessness until
the end,
the last 5 minutes.
That chase sequence through Seattle, I thought it was done so well. For, you know, I think this is the first actual Netflix original movie that I've seen, and the production value was just as good as most, movie theater quality movies.
Yep.
But
this is not over the top.
Yeah. Well, after that chase scene, when we get to the Ferris wheel, I think is the weakest point of the movie. I think the whole climax on the Ferris wheel, they kind of lost it and let themselves dive into that over-the-top overacting that they tried to avoid throughout most of the movie.
I I agree and disagree. I agree because they did lose it a little bit, but I disagree because they had to do something different. They had to take the climax of the story and actually punch it in.
Yeah.
I get what you're both saying.
I just didn't like the amount of slow motion they used.
Yeah, as I said, I think they may have overdid it.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
You have to.
But
Look,
I think they did well. I think they did what they had to do.
In a way of storytelling. They had kind of did everything that they did. They gave the chase scene. The chase scene was powerful, pulled you in. It was done fantastically.
And quick.
Yeah.
They didn't want it to be painfully obvious what was happening. And what better way to have something be kind of disjoined from what you had just saw and bring you to the end where he explains what he did.
I'm glad you brought that specific part up, like him explaining what he did. I think the biggest problem I have with the movie overall is at the beginning they kind of lay out very few of the rules. Like, write the person's name in, write how they die, and they're going to die.
And then he skips ahead and you see that there's like 90-something rules.
Right, and they kind of give you that. They're like, oh, there's all these rules. However, they never really hit on that you can just pretty much write a person's life story in the book and...
48 hours.
And then, and the guy and the person's forced to do it. Like you see that with the bodyguard of L. And I'm like, all right, that seems a little weird. And then the end where he's like 5 people do all of this stuff and then die. Like, it just seems like they should...
no, because I think this goes with what you were saying. They did it in stages. They did it with Watari.
Yeah.
And they set it up like, no, for 48 hours you basically control. Yeah. And Ryuk said, fate will find a way to make it happen.
No,
you
like
can't
I said,
undo it.
I think, honestly, if you look through the whole film... Every part of it was foreshadowed by something prior to it.
Oh, yeah.
You using him, Matuk to turn around and foreshadow what he could do. Mm-hmm. And I think that disconnect that you're talking about, I think it was done almost purposely, just so it didn't become so painfully obvious.
Right. And then at the end,
how he was using to get his end game.
That being said, I would really this made me want to go back and watch the anime, and I'm not an anime fan. So I'm gonna actually start that this week.
Don't start it this week because I'm sensing that that's something we need to set cameras up for and like have a Death Note party. We'll stream and allow you guys to join us. So if it goes south, we can all enjoy the pain on his face. And if it doesn't go south,
it is a very, very slow paced anime.
I mean, it's 37 episodes.
And the story is very, very different.
Yeah, but I like the core story. Like, I like the idea of the Death Note, and I like the characters. So while I would assume the characters are somewhat different in the movie, I'm figuring they have some sort of the same structure.
Yep.
And then Ryuk, aside from...
Well, that's what I was going to say. Did you like Ryuk in the movie?
I did.
Then you will not like Ryuk in the anime. It's actually kind of weird.
The one thing that the thing that I love most about Ryuk in the movie, and it's not his overall look, and it's not Willem Dafoe's overall sound. It's the eyes and mouth that just reminded me of the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland.
Well, that's very present in the anime as well. But in the anime, he's almost more like a rabid dog on a leash.
Yeah. Okay.
And he loses the Death Note, and that's how it falls to Earth, and he's kind of the joke of the Shinigami, and so in the movie he's just this badass death god, and then he conspires with Mia, and I love that.
I love that side story. I love Mia as a character.
I really like the different direction that they went.
We don't let him continue to fangirl out over Mia. We're gonna segue out. So we'll come out of
dissolve.
TV. See, he just had to do.
We need
that.
transitions.
So, you know what?
We should add those in post.
We're going all in. Defenders.
Haven't seen it. Haven't seen an episode.
You now have to. I watched the first 4 episodes.
Yep.
I'm not impressed. Not at all.
I wouldn't be either.
I realized that the only one that was worth anything was
Jessica Jones.
Fuck you. Daredevil. Jessica Jones is a goddamn... Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know what is her shtick. Do you got a thing for the girl who plays her?
Jessica
Jones can kick your ass. I mean, granted, everyone can kick your ass,
is
but
Marvel's
Jessica Jones is
answer to Harley Quinn.
No,
That's not a good fucking answer. That's a terrible answer.
Jessica Jones.
Me and Beth were just having this conversation. Jessica Jones is Marvel's answer to Harley Quinn because Harley Quinn.
Well, you know what? If that's the case, I'm about to join him. I'm about to join him in the all hatred of Marvel.
No,
because that is a joke.
Jessica Jones is essentially Marvel's answer to a character with PTSD.
Right, but that's why I say is Marvel's answer to Harley Quinn.
But she didn't fall for the Purple Man. Like, Purple Man's ability is
Harley
to control
Quinn didn't
you.
fall.
She did.
Not
She's a little tapped.
Not initially. She was seduced and she was.
I'm just gonna say
by the dark side of the Force.
There was not a single man
and then
I
she
know
was kidnapped.
who would not enjoy a woman that was gonna fall for the tapped. Like, she is the tapped. Like, everyone but you would actually take her out to dinner and just on the pure hopes of what the hell's gonna happen at the end of the night. I'm just saying.
Jessica Jones to me is, I mean, the Jessica Jones show especially, but Jessica Jones is the deepest character that Marvel has put on the screen so far. And same thing with the villain.
I will watch Jessica Jones. You are going to have to try Defender. And not for nothing, I think there are a lot of women who would do the same thing as us, would take her out to dinner just for what's going to happen at the end of the night. She's equal opportunity.
I will lie about watching Defenders. I'll just read the Wikipedia page.
Oh, God.
But anyway, I have no interest in Defenders.
I'm not going to turn around and win this one.
No.
I have not enjoyed Defenders. I'm at the point where they just came together and they're kind of all about to do their thing. I don't think I'm going to be impressed from here on out.
Nope.
Let's jump into board games.
Okay.
What would you like to start with?
Let's start off with the one on your left.
Out of frame.
All right. Ghostbusters 2.
Who you gonna call?
Just dropped. And we've played Ghostbusters 1.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
Yes. Over there.
And I think we all really like it. So what's
a little simplistic, but it's good.
Well, I don't think it's going to get much more complicated.
Dice Tower setting was a little bit more.
That actually should work, and it won't block you.
Okay.
So, what do we got here? We got some more tiles.
Who doesn't love tiles?
I don't know. Probably the person who has to make the tiles.
Or punch them out.
Can we put those over your face? Like, just, our production value will go up through the roof when we cover your face.
Nah. We have the Statue of Liberty head, which is the centerpiece of the entire thing.
Yep.
Last time it was the Marshmallow Man. This time around, it's the Statue of Liberty head. We have the same characters as last time because for some reason Louis Tully can only be shown in an expansion.
Why couldn't they put all the crap that they released in the Kickstarter in the first one in some expansion or release it with the second one?
I agree.
It was a shit ton of stuff.
I know there was.
Boogeyman, come on! I want the Boogeyman.
The wrestler? Okay, maybe not. So.
Oh, this is different.
Yeah, there's actually event cards and equipment cards this time around. So I'm really waiting to see how that ends up going. You have two kinds of packs that you can switch between. You have the regular Proton pack and you have the Slime pack. Each one needs to be used for different ghosts. You have the same amount of actions as before. You have Portable Dimension. You have definitely different equipment cards that, depending on the level, do different stuff. Level 1, 3, 4, level 5.
You also have dice.
That's cool.
You have
and
dice.
I suck with these dice.
Well,
I probably suck with all dice.
Yes.
But, just saying.
The one thing that I noticed this time around is for event cards that they've added, I'm waiting to see how that actually turns out. You have a goo pile, which all say equipment? Nope. Some say equipment, some say event. And scenarios. You have 12 more scenarios? Yes. You have about 12 more scenarios. The one thing that I really like this time around is a much more complex board state on some of them. I felt Ghostbusters, in its kind of simplicity, also was always just like a giant square. Just depending upon how you put the...
Well, I know, but the same can be said about Zombicide.
Yeah,
And-
I mean...
This is actually, just so you can kind of get a little.
But I mean, like, you have this one. I have no idea who the hell thought of this design. But we'll definitely be playing this through on the channel.
And hopefully we'll
Relatively
actually be able
soon.
to introduce one of the friends of the show, Buddha, and get him on here.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
But I mean, who knows?
Nice.
But it looks good. You're right. I've heard that it's a little like there's some different mechanics. The miniatures still look really good. I expect all these painted by the time we play.
They're transparent. You can't paint them.
You can paint anything. You
whole-
just have to try.
The whole cool part of it is they're translucent.
Well, I mean, like the Ghostbusters. Like
Oh,
you don't
all
paint
right.
the ghost. Yeah, you see
Friends
through
of the
ghosts.
show who know how to paint, please give me a call.
If we
We'll
have
work
time.
something out.
He'll pay you.
I love how I always get thrown to the wolves. Oh,
The-
yes.
yep.
Oh, yes.
See, it came with a hat
Yes.
It did.
for you. No, that's for Palmer.
I do like that you have the ability to actually put the Ghostbusters
In or on.
in. Yeah. Although you can only fit a Ghostbuster, so I don't know how the rest of the Ghostbusters are getting around. It's all. I really hope that there's just more than one scenario that you
I
can
like
use.
that there
Cinema.
are actually speakers on that. I didn't see that the first time.
Oh
They
yeah.
actually have the speakers hooked
Yep.
up so you can tell that that's why it's moving.
The new Ecto.
I like the old Ecto better.
Well,
yeah,
was a
it was
card.
bigger.
this one has a satellite dish, so it's better.
Roaming.
Well, this one's anatomically more correct for you.
Because it has a satellite dish.
No, because it's small.
See, that's why no one
See,
likes
he
you.
was playing nice, and then you
I
had
know.
to hit him below the belt, quite literally.
This
What the
giant.
hell is that thing?
This is
I was
the
looking at it.
giant ass monster. It's about the same size as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, I believe.
Yeah, give or take a little bit, yeah.
Yep. If I remember correctly, the purple ghosts from the demonstrations that I've seen, the purple ghosts, you use the regular proton packs. The lighter
Washington.
purple ghosts.
Is that it? Washington Square Ghost?
Yes, it is the Washington Square Ghost. He only shows up in Washington Square, I'm assuming because he's the ghost of George Washington. Look, it looks like he has wooden teeth. You actually looked.
I was waiting
gonna
for
say.
like some
I
square.
couldn't believe you fell into that.
I was
Like,
looking for
I
some
knew
square
where this was
teeth.
going. It was not going anywhere good.
He's not a Yankees fan.
No one's a Yankees fan.
Oh, boy. Shit just
So-
keeps getting thicker and thicker up in this piece.
So, with all the new elements, I can't wait to play. I agree the first one was very simplistic, like the experience counters were too easy. Like I understand it was kill a ghost, you get an experience. But I mean when we played we had pretty much maxed out everyone's experience by like the
3
second or
missions in.
third game.
We had a house rule where you would backtrack an experience point to re-roll a die.
Okay.
Because
That's actually a pretty neat house rule.
Yeah.
other than that, basically it was like, oh, I need to roll a 5. Oh, I rolled a 4. Your turn. I need to roll a 5. I rolled a 3. Your turn. I need
Well,
to
if
roll a
you-
6. Oh shit.
If you stop sucking at rolling dice,
Because that's. I'm sorry.
Dude, you went in. You just hook, line, and sinker on that one.
Not to
I
not
can't
not
help
not,
you,
not
bro.
to change into criticism.
let me see
because
one of those dice.
I'm usually going to be the more positive person here, but a dice rolling game without mitigation. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, the Ghostbusters had some of that.
Some.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying.
I also
So you can
I always
sacrifice
like-
the experience point to re-roll it.
Yeah, no, that's a
And that also can
look at that 6.
Bang, just like that.
Go ahead.
There you
roll.
go. Roll it.
5, 6.
Bang.
See, I don't understand what the problem is here. This, unfortunately, I
Taking
think
these dice.
Unfortunately, the one thing I disliked about Ghostbusters, as much as I love the look of these dice and I like how they put the symbol on there, I feel they are weighted a bit because of that.
You think the actual design makes them heavier?
Yeah, I think
I'm pretty sure they account for that, though.
I would like to think so, but like when we played, there were times like the dice
ran. Because every single time I rolled a 1.
That's because I kept giving you the wrong dice. It was great. But like the majority of the time we were rolling successes, and like that to me. Oh, there you go. Too. So that to me like kind of threw off the game for me a bit. I did like though as you went on in the scenario. So like we kind of maxed out our guys right at the beginning somehow. Mm-hmm. But I did like by the time we got to the end of the scenario setup was like everyone goes back to level 1. Mm. So you built up your character and then it was like nope, now you're back down to level 1, which was good because it just when you're maxed out it makes the game too easy.
That's nice.
So we will definitely update you once we've actually had a chance to play it.
Yep.
And now
I expect these all to be painted by next week, and we'll start playing.
Go into board as fuck zone, and we're gonna bring another board game to the table.
Technically,
if I'm not correct,
there's no board in this game.
If I'm not correct, didn't this actually just release?
Well, yes, this came out for Force Friday from Fantasy Flight.
Friday, that queer shit's a thing.
They
hey.
The distributor called up stores.
She'll kick your ass.
Yeah, she will. The distributor called up stores and said...
call my wife first. You both can do it together. She'll enjoy it as well.
And said Fantasy Flight is releasing a Star Wars game for Force Friday.
I'm just letting that go.
And so...
Thank you. I'm only going to pay for it twice as much later.
So they were like, how many do you want to order? I'm like, well, what's the game about? Yeah, we can't tell you. Well, can I find anything out about it online? No. This was an entire surprise. People guessed that it was going to be a 2-player version of Destiny because Destiny did not have a 2-player starter box.
Not for anything. I'm pretty sure it didn't matter because who the hell really cares?
We're sold out. So.
That is off-camera laughing. Yes, you did catch that.
So you have...
Mouth, insert foot.
You have a pretty box with a very... badly depicted Rey.
Yeah, that's just really crappy.
What the hell, Fantasy Flight? Like, you do so good with your production quality.
She should be like 3 times bigger and over here.
Yeah.
And
not look like a 5-year-old?
Well, she kind of does. Which is really weird.
She looks older in the movie.
Well, they're trying to, like, get her to be, like, sexy enough to not... bore the guys and not too sexy as to piss off all the fucking
I hate the fact that we have to
nowadays.
actually do that.
Yeah.
But, that being said, so this is a 2-player starter for Destiny, which has been somewhat tough to get, although now the reprints have finally hit the market, so they're staying on the shelf a bit. Basically, you get the Rey and Kylo starter.
And they re-released Awakening.
Yep. It comes with a few added things. And it's only a $30 MSRP. So you're the Destiny player. So crack it open and let us see.
All right.
Let us see this game, because when I first saw this game demoed, I was so disappointed in Fantasy Flight's production value of the dice that I totally discounted this game.
I actually was too. But then when I actually got my hands on them and actually started playing, I actually really had a bit better appreciation for the way the dice were set up, because they need to be clunky and toy looking almost. And when you actually roll them, they actually do have a good weight to them.
Yeah, like these are much heavier than I thought. And I will say, while I didn't expect it from them, when you look at these dice, and I don't know exactly how well you're going to be able to see it because someone did turn on the overhead camera. When you look at these dice, the things are circular and they look very sticker-like.
Yes.
And it almost looks like
they look
a
like
cheap
they were
game
a sticker
from around that time,
right.
But they're not. They're actually laminated on in the very least.
And they're very rounded corners.
Yeah, so they roll.
It really is quite impressive.
I have the Stormtrooper die. Does that mean
Stormtrooper die?
I will miss absolutely
Everybody
everything?
drink.
Stormtrooper. That's actually fairly accurate.
I also like that these dice you can spin.
There are actually a lot of cards in this for a starter set. This actually is really cool for all of these cards, and there's different sets. That's the kind of maybe the only thing I would say I don't really like about this game is if you look at the backs.
Yeah.
It all looks like it's the same.
Yeah.
But there are certain ones that are light side and certain ones that are dark side, and then there are neutral. It goes a lot into deck creation, but I think that the decks are only like 20 cards, something like that. So a lot of the play comes through in the dice, but you actually don't use a lot of dice during play.
I mean, that's true. I mean, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 dice for how many cards you got.
So, and the way it plays is with the chits and all that. These are your characters, these are your equipment, these are your vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And they take damage and you play. And you'll only have 5 or 6 cards out at any given time.
I kind of feel like I just have to make the randomly lame joke of who gives 2 chits. I know.
You know, if this wasn't all your equipment, I would fire you.
Fucking jerk.
But no, I've been a Destiny fan since it came out. Me and my fiance played a couple times, and very simplistic game. But one of the things I love about it, other than it's a dice chucker, it's just always fun, and you can at different points use one of your actions to re-roll your dice. Again, dice game with mitigation.
Yeah.
That makes it right there. Oh crap, I rolled the dice. It sucked. Game over? No. You can take another action, re-roll your dice. What's awesome about this game, and I was not expecting it in the depth of strategic like play back and forth, it almost gives you a miniatures game feel.
Okay.
Because you take an action, and you go back and forth, and you can only do one thing. And on your turn, you're always like, okay, well, I need to do these 3 things to combo and actually do something. And in between that, your opponent's kind of figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, a simple game, heavy theme, good strategy. That's what I like about it.
I do like how it seems the only bad art on any of these cards are when it comes to Kylo and Rey. Like, everything else looks... I mean, even, like...
Spectacular,
Even like, Palpatine looks a little different, but he doesn't look as bad as, say, Kylo. You know, Kylo just looks like...
Cartoonish.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not... That's the only thing I'm not a fan of. These cards are very stocky. Which is good. Rey, what the hell?
Yeah, that is a horrible picture.
Like, this... It all, you know,
It's kind of like somebody zoomed in on it.
Yeah, it's kind of like somebody from Fantasy Flight just finished watching Stranger Things and was like, we need to make Rey look like what was it, 11?
11.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't even realize. Yeah, that's exactly what this Rey looks like. She looks like 11.
Like I would really want to see the alternate art of this where it is 11 and this is like a maple syrup bottle and the handle's an Eggo.
Or French fry.
Yeah, you know.
Hey, look, someone did give 2 chits.
This is why no one likes you.
Hey, I amuse myself. Someone has to.
We gotta get you to play it.
I mean, I'll play it. We'll, you know, now that there's a 2-player out, we can definitely have a playthrough on the channel because I like almost any game with dice rolling. Like I like dice chucking. So any game that has dice, I'm in. And like I said, I really like rounded dice. If for no other reason that half the time when you roll it, you have like that.
Rolling.
Yeah, it just has that keep rolling vibe.
That's because it keeps rolling.
Just like your mouth.
But I hear and completely agree with what you were saying.
See, he even agrees with me.
No,
Fucking
I'm
traitor.
not saying nothing about his mouth. All right. About the cheapness looking of the dice, but when you actually get them,
yeah, they're heavy, they're chunky,
way better than.
Yeah. New booster packs coming out, I believe the fall.
Now,
It's already on order.
just out of curiosity,
Yo.
the shop did get a couple. Shop does have a couple boxes of current boosters, correct?
Yeah, like you said, there was a restock of Awakenings and Spirit of the Rebellion. So, like my biggest concern with this game, and not from a standpoint of selling it, is just like Dice Masters. When it came out, it was very tough to get, and like you would have people in every day asking for it. Now that it becomes a little bit more available, I'm noticing that there's less people asking. And the question becomes, is it because it's just so much more available, or if people that weren't able to get it before just now onto something else? Because that's kind of what happened to Dice Masters.
that's-
People went on to something else. The good thing is it's Star Wars, so there's always a built-in audience.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes from there. But, I mean, it definitely looks like an interesting game. I dismissed it the first time I saw it. I might have seen a bad playthrough of people that just were not that interesting. I mean, they were kind of learning it as they went, so...
It's always who you watch.
Yeah.
I don't know, but okay. Now that I'm nauseous and I've taken all I can from Star Wars,
Oh, jeez. Goodness gracious.
Ray's judging
Look
you.
at the 11-year-old boy.
I think
he
11
said
is
it, not
kind.
me. Oh boy. So, I think the only other things we have of note is like HasCon's coming.
HasCon is coming, where you can see Marky Mark. Because he'll be there.
We've already, like I said, we've kind of already passed our quota. We definitely have to touch on the new Magic Commander decks. I'd like to, even if we just do kind of like an update video throughout the course of the week, just to shed a little light on that. I'd like to talk about the new Commander decks. You've had a chance to pilot at least one, if not a few of them.
Yeah, the cat deck.
So I want to kind of touch on that. But like I said, this is Meeple Empire, and thank you again, Brian, for hosting.
Absolutely, man.
And thank you, Beth, for letting us take up your space and crawling around
crawling
so you
around.
didn't get our frame. I'm JR, Palmer Brian, and
Ray.
saying,
Kylo.
oh, God. Please,
Vigo.
if you like what you
Vigo.
see,
Actually, there's no Vigo in there. What the hell? You know what? I want my money back.
There he is. He's in
it
there.
was my money, jerk.
Oh, then never mind.
If you like what you see, please comment, rate, and
Rate.
subscribe. No rape,
No.
except unless him. Like,
That's
stay
just
away
a bad
from
joke
him.
that you keep beating to death.
Well, because you're just waiting for me to slip up again, and it's going to be drink, and I'm creepy.
Well,
So-
we already know this. We've seen pictures of you standing next to women.
Thank you very much. Catch you next time.
As he puts the picture of Ray face down. No, I'm not looking at. That's great.